In our everyday conversations, we use the word sacrifice in many ways. I have sacrificed so much for my family. I've given up my career for the sake of my children. And even at work, we find ourselves say, but I've sacrificed so much for this job. There also comes a time when you and I should be prepared to sacrifice our life. And even the Eucharist is referred to as a sacrifice. And so, what exactly is the meaning of the word sacrifice? The Webster Dictionary would define the word as giving up something valuable for the sake of something else. And so, that's what sacrifice means. There is also another word, gift. And gift is something that is given to you freely. You have not earned it, you have not merited it, and you don't deserve it in any way. And yet, it is given to you willingly and freely. And the interesting thing about gift is that for a thing to become a gift, it has to be received twice by the receiver. What do I mean? As I come home to you, maybe for a dinner, what do? I bring you a bottle of wine. And as soon as you see me produce that bottle and bring it to you, you immediately burst out and say, "Oh, Father, that's not needed at all. You don't need to do this." And so, as I give you the gift, you are giving it back to me. And then what do? Oh no, I know that I don't have to do this, but I want to. Please accept it. And then that becomes truly a gift because you have received it twice. My dear sisters and brothers, with that background, let's go to the first reading of the day. There is Abraham. By any count, that is a terrible passage. That's a passage that I would hesitate to read, much less proclaim as a parent, as a grandparent. It's so terrible, heart-wrenching. And that's why it's referred to as the Akedah. In Hebrew, it means the terrible binding. Abraham binds Isaac and leads him up Mount Horeb to sacrifice him there because God asked for the sacrifice. And in asking Abraham to sacrifice his son, God comes across as any other god of the neighborhood. Gods who are angry, gods who are vengeful, gods that are bloodthirsty, gods that demand they be appeased with blood offerings, with human sacrifice. And yet, the scripture scholars would tell us that by asking Abraham to go through those motions of what he goes through, God is actually discouraging human sacrifice. And he says, enough is enough. What I want is mercy, not sacrifice. I do not want blood offerings. I want you to walk in my ways. I need you to be obedient, and that is all. But God knows that as a human race, we are an angry people, a vengeful people, and we are bloodthirsty people. Those hunting instincts have not died down in us, and we still hunt and hunt down. And to us, as a human race, in this chapter in Genesis, God says, stop it. Enough. If you want blood, take mine. If you want life, take my sons. And be good to yourself. I am a God of non-violence. I am a God that loves peace. What I want is mercy and not sacrifice. There is also a deeper meaning to it. The superficial meaning is this: God discouraging human sacrifice. And the hidden meaning, the inner meaning, the inherent meaning is this: Abraham and Sarah in their old age are given a gift, Isaac. And in this passage, Abraham has an opportunity to realize that it is a gift that he doesn't deserve. It is a gift that has come his way freely, a gift that was bestowed on him. And so what does he do? He gives that gift back to God and says, you gave it, you take it back. And God, who is all love, would give the son back to Isaac, who receives his son a second time and goes home a happy dad, a grateful dad, a dad who has his son safe and secure with him. To conclude, Mount Horeb, where Abraham goes to sacrifice his son Isaac, would eventually be named Mount Calvary. And you know the rest. And that is where John's words would come kicking in. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. And so notice, it is not God who demands our blood or our children. It is God giving us his only son and shedding his blood for us. And so take a closer look at that passage and you will appreciate the God that comes across to us, a God who gives himself away in love. And in the gospel of the day, we see Jesus, just like Abraham, surrendering himself to the Father, abandoning himself to his will, knowing that all will be well with him. And so Jesus goes through the carrying of the cross, the crucifixion and dying, and he doesn't get his answer from his Father until the third day when he is raised from the dead. And so, as we go through this Eucharist, let's appreciate the God that we have, the God that comes to us, the God who comes and makes a covenant with us, a God who keeps his covenant even when you and I are faithless. Let's express our gratefulness. Let's express our praise to God who gives himself away in love.